So when you think of somebody who is daydreaming, you're usually thinking about somebody who's got their head in the clouds, who maybe isn't paying attention. And if you're thinking about somebody who's daydreaming at work, you're probably thinking that guy's a slacker, right? Or gal. But it turns out that daydreaming may actually be one of the things that makes you more creative. So there were two researchers, and I will put their information down in the comments below. They actually did this study, and they found that daydreaming sparks creativity in people who are really aligned with their professions and care about the work that they're doing. They also found, on the opposite side of that, they found that the people who are not that aligned with their work may be using daydreaming to their detriment. So basically it will have adverse effects and become, a hindrance if you're doing daydreaming and you're not aligned with your profession. Basically, they discovered there are two types of daydreaming. The first is problem-oriented daydreaming, and the second is imaginative thoughts that are kind of loosely connected to what's going on. These are like those bizarre daydreams, if you will. So what they did was they conducted two different studies to figure this daydreaming scenario. The first study, they looked at people who were in the banking, service, kind of financial industries. And in the second study, they looked at 3 technology consulting groups. And in these particular professions, people needed to be more creative, to be more efficient at work. These employees were likely more passionate and more aligned with their profession and its values. Then they asked the supervisors at those companies to rate the employees' creativity. What they found was that the workers were much more likely to daydream when they confronted tricky problems and new challenges in their work. And what they found was that those daydreams actually boosted people's creativity when they were really aligned with their profession and when they really identified with the work that they were doing. Where on the flip side, those who were kind of not really connected to what they were doing, those daydreams kind of worked against them. So what do we take away from this? Basically, businesses can remove that stigma associated with somebody who's got their head in the clouds, who's always daydreaming. And I know a few people like that. Sometimes I'm doing that too. When something gets really heavy, I kind of go to a different place in my head. But that is not the case. It's not that, oh, that guy is not paying attention at work, he's thinking about something else. That's kind of how creative people process, in my experience. We kind of process by thinking about other things. And for me personally, I sleep, and that's how I have real dreams, not daydreams. And then I wake up and I have processed that information, whereas some people need to daydream it out because that's where they get their creativity boost. So we need to remove that stigma at work and not assume that person is just slacking off. They might just be noodling on a new idea.